very much. Thanks for providing me an opportunity. And today, I think I'm giving this presentation with respect to the components. Okay, yesterday I just gave you about the components. Today, I'm just going to give the components related to the other rest of the components that we left out yesterday. That is with respect to containers, helpers, Google, as well as legacy. Okay, so one by one, let's see what exactly the things are. After completing this, we are planning to run this application. How we need to run this application. After running this, I'm going to give two more applications for you. I'm going to explain you two more applications, how it is going to work. And not least, I need to explain you about the code. What exactly the code is, how the code is written in Java with respect to Android, how the synchronization between UI and the Java code is going to happen. So these things we are going to cover it for today's session. Okay. So I think today is the session. This is the last session for you people. I'm going to handle. Okay. After that, if you are interested, you can need to learn more about Android. You can approach me. I'll provide you the number. Okay. Because this is just an introduction. And with respect to your syllabus, Mr. Prasanna is going to handle your subject. Okay. I hope that he is going to deal the subject in a very good manner because he got the things. Prasanna sir, you're always welcome to ask any queries or any questions related to development.
Okay. Thanks.
You can ask anything. I will be here to help you out. Okay, sir, fine. Let's come to the components part, whatever the components in the palette. Yesterday, we just completed the layouts. I think you remember the layouts. I just explained you about the layouts. Okay. Next component, what we are going to see is the containers. Okay. The containers are something like the place that we are going to place whatever. For example, as you can see here, this is one container. Okay. Inside this container, this is a fragment. I agree. Inside the fragment is also considered as a container. Okay. We are having different types of container in this. So we are going to use these containers to place the whatever the components be required. So one by one, let's see. First one is called as spinner. Okay. What do you mean by this spinner? So spinner, what do you mean by spinner? The person who spins the ball is called as a spinner. Is it true? With respect to Android, I'm asking, what do you mean by a spinner?
Drop down menu.
Exactly. It is called as a drop down menu where we'll be having what are the list of the items that are populated from the hard-coded content or else from the database. Okay, it may be we can write the code directly in the code itself in the whatever the required menu. That's what the drop-down menu inside the code itself. That will be call it as a hard-coded content, or else if it is we are fetching the contents from an remote database or a database, that is going to populate inside this drop-down. Okay. So this drop-down menu is something like, we will be calling it as drop-down in normal terms, but in Android, we are going to call this as spinner. Okay. So just keep this in mind. Spinner is a drop-down menu in Android. Okay. Android development. Next comes the recycler view. As I explained, we just saw the things in the common part. The recycler view is repeated. As I explained you, recycle view is this is also a type of a container where we are going to reuse the same component in other instead of reassigning the things. If we assign the code somewhere here in this part, we can use the container somewhere again in the code, again in some other code. Okay, that's what we are going to use it. Okay, this recycling of the same code is going to happen. Next comes this scroll view. As I explained you, we are having two types of scroll. One is the horizontal scroll, that is the scroll. Sorry, one is the vertical scroll. This is the vertical scroll. As you can see, we can see this is what the vertical scroll is. Okay, if we are using this type of vertical scroll, whatever the contents we are having inside this layout that can be scrolled, the contents with respect to top and bottom can be viewable using this scroll. That is something like if we use this type of something like a scroll option inside on your mobile, we can easily scroll the top and bottom contents. We can view the top and bottom content. Similar to that, we are having the horizontal scroll where we'll be having the view to view the left side and right side contents which is placed outside the screen. We can view those contents also using this horizontal scroll. Then comes the next nested scroll. Nested scroll is something like it is going to have both the components. Something like, as you can see, it is going to have both the horizontal scroll as well as the vertical scroll. So both the scrolls are integrated together. We will be calling it as a nested scroll, or else we'll be having something like nested scroll. We can call something like it is going to have more than one scroll view. Okay. For example, it may be this particular container will be having one nested scroll. If that is the case, this container will be having a individual scrolling part. Okay, but this we'll be having another nested scroll. So where this content, whatever the content in the white background, that will be having a different what do you say, scrolling activity. Okay, this is what we are going to call it as a nested activity. We can say something like, if an activity is having more than one scroll, for example, this is one activity. In this, we can have more than one scroll. If that is the case, we'll be calling it as a nested scroll. Okay, so I think it is clear for you. Next thing is page viewer method, that is page view pager 2. View pager 2 is something like the page options that is going to redirect you for another page. The container in the same container itself will be having another page view. Okay, so that page view will be calling it as a view pager 2. So this option is available in this Android, in this particular container. So rest of this, as you can see here, card view is something like a individual. If you click on a particular icon, if some card will be popped up there itself. Something like a view will be generated when you click on this. So this will be calling it as a card view. So just keep this in mind. I'm not just explaining you the component what we have. I'm just explaining the components. I'm not giving the in detail description about the components here. Okay, I'm just giving a brief and very brief description about what are these components. Okay, next comes the app bar layout. App bar layout is something like it says something like, we can call this as what is a fragment activity. As we explained, this is one fragment where we will be having one particular app bar where we can scroll that particular content. As you can see in the Google Maps, I think you are aware. Yesterday I demonstrated a Google map example for you. In that, the bottom content will be scrolled. As you can see, the bottom app bar. If you open the Google Maps, you can observe that content. If you in the bottom content will be navigated. Okay, so it is having a app bar from the bottom. If it is from the top or any other content, we'll be calling it as app bar layout. That's all, app bar layout. And this is a bottom app bar. From the bottom, we can scroll the contents. Okay, so content that will be something like a activity drawer. Next comes the navigation view. Navigation view is something like the tabbed contents. As you observed here, when we open the things here, 1 second, I will just show you. Right. We click on new option, new project. Here you can see this option. Can you see this tabbed activity or something like this? You can see here this option. This is a tabbed activity. Okay, if you're in the left side part, we'll be having the navigation for the tabs. Okay, so when we click on the particular tab, the activity will be popped up. Okay, so this feature is also given here. So this is what the navigation view. So when we click on a particular tab, the content of that will be popped up. Okay, so that's what we are going to call it as a navigational view. So tabs will be provided. When you click on that particular tab, the content of that tab will be provided for you. So next comes the bottom navigation. Say, as you can see, I explained now just now itself. The bottom navigation, the similar way. When we created, the navigation tabs will be in the bottom. Okay, so that will be calling it as navigation. Next comes a toolbar. Toolbar is something like whatever the components we are going to have. Something like settings. As you have observed, so many examples. Something like if you open a big basket application or any other thing, the left side corner will be having a menu type of action where will be when you click on that, it will be showing the menu contents. Something similar to that, here we'll be having a tools. Okay, whatever the tool, it may be settings or it may be view or anything. As you can see, if we click on any of the components here, it will be showing something like Wait a minute. I will just show you. If I click on something, like you can see some of the features available here, right? So something similar to that. A few tools will be available in this particular container. So this will be calling it as toolbar. Next comes the tab layout. Tab layout. So tabs will be provided, as you can see. So there are no much difference between the navigational bars as well as the tab bars, tab layouts, or something like that. So tab layouts are something like we are going to have a dedicated tabs for navigation. Okay, so we are going to place the tabs in the top or bottom or in the right side or left side of the activity, where we'll be when we click on that particular content, it is going to navigate you. So this is what it is going to happen in the tab layout. Okay, so tabs are going to be there. When you click on that tab, so as you can see, there is no much difference between the navigation view and the tab. So then you may ask one question. So why we require this type of tab layout, or we can use this, but when we use this, there may be some changes when we use it practically. When we use this, we can observe some of the changes that is going to differ from one component to other. When we use it at that time, only we will be getting to know what exactly the difference exactly between the navigation bar as well as the toolbar. Next comes the same thing like navigation. That is a tab item, where when the same thing, the individual tabs will be having the feature for displaying the contents with respect to the items. Okay, for example, if there is we can give an example like if you consider a grocery Android application. If that is the case, if you select the category vegetable, when you click on the vegetable, you can see there are so many vegetables available. When you click on a particular item, it will show the description of that item. I think you observed that when you click on that item, it will show onion price this much, quantity how much you want, the feature of that particular vegetable. So that type of things we are going to get. So when if that is the case, we'll be using this type of a tab item. When we click on a particular item, it is going to display you the description about it. So I think it is clear for you. Next comes the view stub. So these are some of the latest newly added features. These things were not added in a few versions. So I am also not aware about this view stub. I need to make a research of this. Frankly, I'm telling you, I don't know about this view stub. What exactly is this? So I need to make a research of this. Next comes the include. Okay. So if, for example, why we need to use this include option? So what do you mean by an include? So for example, if I'm adding a container, if I'm using a container, inside that container, if I'm going to add some other components, then I'm going to use this include. So as I told you, I'm just explaining you what exactly the components are. Okay, but I'm not going to explain you about the practical things in this session. Okay, just I'm telling you how exactly this is going to work. If you want to learn this, I will tell you where you need to go and learn about this concept. Okay. So next to this, we can see the fragment container view. I think we have already viewed this content. I think we already viewed this in the layouts part itself. Next comes the navigation host fragment. Navigation host fragment is something like when we click on that, the navigation will happen from one particular activity to another activity. So this is what it is going to happen in this navigation host fragment. So it will be viewed as one particular thing, but when you click on that, the other content will be viewed. So for example, if we are viewing a content A, when we click on that, the content B will be displayed. So I think you are getting my point. So we'll be hosting that particular content as a host. Okay, we are just that A is a host now, which is going to display the contents of B. So when we click on A, it is going to show the contents of B. So we'll be calling it as the navigation host fragment. So inside A, if we click on that, it is going to display the contents of B. So the navigation is going to happen from A to B. So this type of containers, we'll be calling it as navigation host fragment. So as I told you, the next component, as I told you in the previous session itself, the view may be anything. It can be anything. When we incorporate these things in the application, I will just explain this thing to you. Anything, it may be something like the view with respect to the layout. For example, if I want to show the layout in our application, I will be calling this the view option. I'll just explain this when we come to the coding part. Next comes the request focus. So why we need this request focus option? Request focus is nothing but, for example, you observed in the camera will be having something like this type of option. So request focus is something like when we tap on that particular button, something like button like this, the focus of that camera is going to happen on that particular region. So this will be calling it as focus request. If you open your camera in your Android mobile, you can see this type of a icon. So when you click on that icon, it will concentrate on that particular and it will focus on that particular region. So this will be calling it as request focus. Now, this is what it is with respect to the containers. When we come back to the next thing called as helpers, helpers are something like the what do you say, the extra features that we are going to have in our Android. So it may be anything. It may be anything with just a moment. Yes. Now you can see this helper option. Helper is an additional feature that we are going to have in the Android development. Okay. So these are not that much required for you. Just keep this in mind. These are something like extra features available for if it is required. Because I am not, I'm frankly telling you, I have not used this type of options till date. I think, yeah, I not used these components till now. Okay. Because these are extra features, additional features available. You can, if you want, we can just skip this part. It is not at all required for time being. In future, if it is required, I'll help you out with this. Next comes the Google option. As you can see here, the ad view. This is very, very important concept for developer with respect to developer's perspective, because ad view, as I told, ads are going to gain some profit for the developers finally, right? So for this, we are going to place a region for this ad. Okay. For example, if that is the case, if I'm going to provide an additional feature for advertisement, so let me give an additional feature, something like ad view somewhere in the bottom of the application, something like ad view. Let us add this ad view here. So I need to add the dependency libraries for this. So right now I'm not have added any libraries. So if I add this now, it will allow me to put this ad. So whenever the ads with respect to Google is being provided, that will be displayed in the bottom. I think you have observed this type of advertisements in many of the applications in market now. So these are some of the revenue generators for the developers. So we require to place somewhere in the layout part. So and we are going to write some code for this. So it is for this session. I'm not going to cover this part also. I'm just explaining you this ad advertisements we are going to add in some of the regions in the layout, so that whatever the advertisements are going to display, that will be displayed in that region only. Okay. Next comes the map view. So the map view is also one of the feature provided by the Google Corporation itself. So Google, apart from Google Ads, we are going to have one more feature called map view, because majority of the applications in market are supported with the maps. The Android application supports not only the service provided by Google, it will also support the maps by the other service providers of something like Maps India or any other service provider. Okay, not only the Google Maps, it will support other map service providers also. Okay, so just for development perspective, Google has provided their own map activities to be supported in Android. Okay, so because as I told, this Android Studio is it belongs to Google Corporation. Okay, so Google Corporation has provided a feature to add their maps view. Okay, so I think you people are aware that maps to some extent it is going to be free. After that, the usage of maps will be charged for the users. So that is also a revenue for Google Corporation. Okay, so that's what. So it is better to use Google Maps if it is for free. If the usage is not that much used, if the usage of the maps are going to be increased, for example, the restriction of the maps, free usage of maps may be something like 1,000 usages per day. If it is exceeding 1,000 usages per day, you are going to be after one user, you are going to be charged for that. Okay. For example, if you can consider the Swiggy application, YouTube, also Zomato application. In that applications, you are using Google Maps for that, right? If you want to view the whatever the delivery person where exactly he is using the Google Maps, after 1,000 things that Google Corporation is going to use, obviously they are going to charge for the the usage of the Google Maps, right? So this type they are going to get the revenue for this, and that's the reason you can see that Google, the Zomato or Swiggy, there are additional charges they will be added in the service, whatever the service charges or something like that, they will be adding this feature. So just for a knowledge purpose, I've just provided you. Next comes the legacy. The next legacy options are something like these are something like the outdated components. Outdated components. We just overcome these components using the constraint layout. As you can see, the grid layout. What do you mean by a grid? Grid is something like the what do you say? It is having a uniform patterns of arrangements of components. So we'll be calling it as a grid. Okay. So for example, you can consider a mosquito mesh. Okay. In that the holes are arranged in a sequential and regular pattern. So this we'll be calling it as a grid, right? So that grid, similar to that, the arrangement of icons are going to happen. So we'll be calling it as a grid layout. Okay. So not the arrangement of icons, arrangement of components are going to happen. Sorry for that. The arrangement of components are going to happen. So we'll be calling it as a grid layout. So the sequential similar pattern or is maintained in this grid. Okay. So this is also it has been replaced by the constraint layout along with the linear layout. So if we are if you want the grid layout, we can use this. Still, it is available. So as you can see, we need to download this. Add dependency, add project dependency. If we want this, we need to add this because these are outdated components with respect to the version what we are right now using. We are using the version 30 or 29 in this Android development. So we are just I'm just moving to the next one called as list view. So list view, this is also being replaced by the other recycler view option. Okay, the list view is being replaced by the recycler viewer. So the list view is something like it is going to display the components or the whatever the fields available in a list manner. Okay, in a listing. For example, how many categories of vegetables available? How many categories of groceries available? For example, if that is the case, we'll be using vegetable, fruits, what you say, something like dairy products, milk products, other things we'll be adding. So this type of listing will happen. When you click on that particular listing will pop up, right? So this type of listing is going to be viewed in this list view. We are going to place this type of components inside this list view. So list view is nothing but is going to have the list of items in a sequential manner. After this, one after this, one after this, like that it is going to be arranged. Okay, this will be calling it as a list view. Next comes the host tab. This is I think I already explained you about this. Next comes the very oftenly used thing in the previous versions of Android development. Right now, this version of Android, that is Android Studio, it is showing this as legacy version, legacy component or legacy version. But previously, this relative layout was one of the important component which got replaced with this constraint layout. As you can see, when I click on this, double click on this, or else if I click on this, you can see they can convert this view. Okay, so if I click on the convert this view, it will show you want to convert this to relative layout or linear layout or coordinator layout. So like this, the options are available. But this relative layout was previously very much used by the developers, because relative layout is something like each component is related to another component. As you can see, the name itself suggests to you the relative layout. It is going to be related to some other, whatever the components we have inside this, it is going to be related to some other component. For example, if I'm calling the login text in this constraint layout, you can see these many items we have. Okay, this first component, login text, it is going to be related to the text view, and this text view is going to be related to some other component in this. So this is how the relativity between the components are going to happen in this relative view. If I want to migrate, if I migrate one component from its position, all the components will get their what do you say, the position will be of this, all the components will be changed. So this will be called as a relative view. So in general words, I just given you the details about relative view. When if it is possible, I will just demonstrate the session of relative layout in this session itself. Let me try. Next comes the grid view. As we have the grid layout, the similar way we are having the grid view. So grid view is something like, I can tell you one example of the gallery, photo gallery. The photo gallery, you observe in this photo gallery, you can see all the images, whether it is irrespective of different images of different sizes. All the images are arranged in a sequential and uniform pattern. Okay. For example, if you open your photo gallery in your Android mobile, you can see all the photos, whether it is a landscape or a portrait, whatever the size it is, all the components are going to be arranged in a equal. That is, the thumbnail is going to be in same size. Okay. So this will be calling it as a grid view. Okay. So this type of grid view will be using it in the photo galleries and other things. Okay. So these, as I explained you, these are the important components of palettes. So I just gave a brief and very brief description about the components with respect to the palettes. So just what we need to do is we need to drag and drop the components. So initially what we need to do is we need to have a layout first. What we need to choose which type of layout we are going to have, because the layout plays, as I told you, layout is an arrangement. So if we have an arrangement feature first, as you can see, always the layout is going to be placed first. Okay, after this only the components of the application, whatever the components we need to have, that is going to be placed. As I explained you, this is the this example I explained you. In this we are having, this is a login application where we'll be having an username for the text field for username, that is the edit text, and password edit text will be there, and the two buttons will be there. One is for register and another is for login. So login, I think it is missplit somewhere. So I think for this arrangement we need a layout, right? So first we need to choose the layout, which type of layout we are going to have. Usually we usually choose by default, it will be showing the constraint layout. Okay, if you are not using constraint layout, we can change the constraint layout to some other layout, convert view. For example, let me change this to relative layout. What happens? Let's see. Okay, I just changed this to relative layout. Just a minute, hold on. As you can see, when I change this to relative layout, all whatever the errors I had here, it vanished. Okay, so now you can see one by one the components. Each component right now, what we see here. Just a moment, I'll just zoom out. As you can see here, the first component, that is the login text, it is placed somewhere here. Let me drag this and place it somewhere here. Okay, wait a minute. So this is the problem with the regular, because the constraint layout is we never had this problem, right? Wherever we want, we can just place the contents. But in relative layout, it is not possible. As you can see here, each and every component what we have, it is being related to some other components. Okay, so you can see when I place this, yes, it is not going to get placed because it is already been related. This one particular content, as you can see, when I open the code, or else if I split the code, as you can see, this particular button is being linked or related to some other. Wait a minute. Now you can see because as we mentioned, this is a relative layout, but as you can see, there are no relations available, no relations provided. Okay, but in reality, what we used to do is we are going to provide the what exactly the relationship between the each and every component. For example, I can say something like the edit text is going to be placed below or above the button. This is what we are going to place it in this component. So obviously the relationship is going to be something like the button is going to be below or above. So that's what we are going to place it. The description about it where we are going to place this. So when we provide this, obviously the button is going to be related with the edit text. So this is what the relative layout is. Okay. So I explained you these are the important features that we need to take care before we design. Okay, as you can see here, we just dragged and dropped the components, and here are some of the components. And if you want, it is better to use a constraint layout. If you are using a constraint layout, we need to take care of some other options also. That also I will tell you. If that is the case, if you're not comfortable using the constraint layout or any other layout, you can go with the linear layout. It is always better to use a linear layout so that the arrangement of pattern will be very simple. Okay, very easy for you. So let me close this, and I will delete these two functions, and I'll start with the explanation of the Java code. For just a moment, I'll just delete this. For deleting, right click on this and click on delete option. Okay, when you click on this, it will ask whether the safe delete or something like that. Okay, if you click on safe delete, it will automatically delete anyway. Okay, I deleted it. Along with this, I need to delete this main activity too, because as I told you, if we are opening up an activity, it will be having two components. One is Java, another is XML. So once I delete the XML, I need to delete the Java also, because the both are interconnected. I don't want these two. So these are created by myself. So I just created few for your explanation. So I'm deleting this two components. Okay. So I just deleted it. So after deleting, let me build the script once. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So meanwhile, if you are having any queries or any questions related to the components of palette, you can ask.
Any questions, participants?
No questions? Just a minute. It is taking some more time. Let me click on the build and to view what exactly is happening. I think you can see the building of this is happening. So usually it depends on the system speed. Okay. Now let it build for some time. Meanwhile, let me open the Java code. Okay. Now, as you can see here, this is what the Java code. Now let's see what exactly the components. Okay, Java code. It got completed, and I think you can see this option. Whatever the main activity 2.java file was there, it got deleted and the build was successfully completed. Okay, build was successful. Now our application is ready to launch. Before going to the launching of this application, let me give an introduction about the Java coding part. I think if I provide this coding part, it is going to I'm just going to give a brief introduction about the coding, because the coding is this is not the coding session. I just want to explain you how this structure of Android and explanation about how this is going to work. Okay, but I'm not going to explain you in this session. how this coding part is going to be, what are the logics that we are going to use. I'm just explaining the components, that's all. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, that is the coding part. In this you can see, prior to this, let's go to the activity underscore main, that is what the main XML file. Here you can see how many buttons are there. So just calculate the number of buttons. Delete button 1, answer button 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, totally 6 and 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 buttons are there totally. Okay. So along with that we are having one text view. As you can see, this is a text view, display text view. You can see in the cursor it is showing text view, right? So this is a text view for displaying the answers. Now one by one, let's see what we are going to have. So when we start this, as you can see, our Java code usually starts with the package name. The package name for our application, whatever the package name we have provided, that is going to be displayed. Along with this, the import, the type of imports that we are going to use. By default, the app compact and other things are going to be incorporated as import, because if you are using the version 30 and above for your development, or 29 and above for your development, obviously it is going to take this app compact. This app compact is Android X app compact version is something like the activity, that is what the screen, the layout screen activity, it is going to support some extra features which is not provided in the previous versions of previous versions of Android, that is version 28 or 26 or 27, like that. Okay, so these features are available after 29 and 30 and above. Okay, so it is better if we are providing the compile version as you can see 29 and above, this feature is going to be applicable. So if you are not providing this feature is not going to be applicable for our development. So I'm just telling you. So next comes a very important thing. You may ask one question: how come I know why I need to use this import? You may ask one question: why I need to use this import? Okay, so for this type of question, here is the answer. Okay, you can see we are having, just forget about these imports. Okay, forget about these imports. These are very commonly used by default. When you create an application, these imports are going to be there. But the button and text view, these imports are not with us. It is not there by default. Okay, if that is the case, we need to provide this type of imports. So you may ask one question: how I know that this type of imports we need for our Java code? So when we start the coding part, we are going to give, because we just saw the activity underscore main.xml. We are having the buttons, right? The buttons. So buttons are we just dragged and dropped the button components here in a linear layout fashion. Okay, so arrangement of things are happened here. So we require the buttons import for sure, right? So the button we get is its must and should be required. So for example, if I remove this button, or else I just commented it, as you can see, I commented the button. Now you can see the button is giving an error while writing the code. For example, if I write the code something like, I'll be provided with the first option. We'll be calling it as the main activity class. So inside this we are having the components. For example, how we are going to write a program? How you are going to write a program in C or C++ or Java? First, initially we will be declaring a main class, right? So if you are writing a main program, in that main program you are going to declare what are the components or the data feeds that we going to use in this. Okay, so for example, here in this application we are going to have the button as well as the text view. These are the two components that we are going to have, because these two components we added in the activity underscore main.xml. Because these components are there, we need these components to be integrated together. Then only it is going to work with our application, or else it is not going to work. in simple way, we can explain this as in a C program or a C++ program or a Java program, you'll be calling a main class. Inside that, we'll be calling as int a equal to 3. How we are going to give that? Why we are going to give that? Int is a data type which is having a value, having a component called as a, which is the component a is equal. The value of this a is equal to 3. So this is what the meaning of this. Okay, something similar to that. Here we are having so many components here, right? So these components requires the value. Okay, whatever the components we provided, that component need to be provided with a value, right? So that value we are providing. So here, as we use the button, we'll be calling this as a type. Android, it will be calling it as a type, not the data type. Okay, here the double is a data type, boolean is a data type, but this button is a type belongs to Android. Something like text view, it belongs to type Android. So this type of buttons, when you place a cursor on this, you can see import class is missing. Just import the class. If I click on this, automatically the importing of the class button will be happen. As you can see, I just commented this, but the import of this button is happened here. Something similar to that. If I comment the text view, the same thing is going to happen. So by default, we will be knowing, because we use the text view. Obviously, we need to declare the text view here. Okay, when I place the cursor on this, it will show import class text view is missing. Just click on this, it will add the import text view. So you can see the importing of the components is going to happen here. Next to this, yes, we will be calling the components, like what were the components we are using that we are going to call. As I think you observed, addition, the Boolean option, addition, subtraction, multiply, division, remainder, decimal. So if that is the case, what we are going to do here, why we are calling this as a Boolean, because it should be one or the other option need to be there. Okay, for example, if I'm using addition, subtraction will not be there. If I'm using subtraction, addition will not be there, or multiplication will not be there, or division will not be there. So only one need to be true. So that's why we are using the Boolean option here. Next comes the button here. So after this button, this is what the main class. Inside the main class, we are having this option app compact. Main class extends app compact activity, because app compact activity is a feature that we imported here. Okay, so when we add this app compact activity, the view of this is going to be enhanced compared to the normal activity provided in the Android application. The app compact, it's a package available. Okay, where we are going to add the package. We're going to add the package inside the, wait a minute. Wait. In the Gradle scripts, we added this. I think day before yesterday, I think I explained you about this, right, in the previous session. As you can see, the app compact is being added. Okay, app compact. As you can see, the constraint layout is also added here, because these versions are available only after a particular versions of Android SDK. Okay, now let's come to the coding part. Let's see the components, how this is going to be linked. So as you can see here, this is what the main class. Inside the main class, we just declared the components what we are going to have in this application. So we are having the text view for displaying the result. Okay, sorry. Yes, text view for displaying the result, and the buttons for operations. What are the buttons we are having? These buttons are for operations. Okay, so buttons for operation and booleans for what, with respect to this button, the boolean value is being provided, and in in1, I2, these are the numbers that being provided. So these are the components that we are going to utilize for our the functional part. So just we declared it using the double. Okay, after this we can see the next component called as onCreate bundle. OnCreate bundle saved instance state. So this is a very common thing we observe in Android development. Whenever we create application, we need to have an onCreate bundle. Okay, onCreate bundle is something like it is going to redirect you for a particular view. Okay, now you can see onCreate bundle saved instance state. In this saved instance state, you can see super class of onCreate saved instance state, the same thing. So when we see this, inside this we can observe the content, the set content view, where this particular Java code is where we are going to render the view. As you can see, this is the Java code, but this Java code need to render a view, right, with respect to an XML activity. So that XML activity is being provided here. Okay, so not this one, activity underscore main.xml. As you can see here, set content view r is nothing but a resource file r dot layout dot activity underscore main. Okay, so this is the XML file. Where exactly it is located? It is located inside the layout folder. Okay, it is located inside the layout folder. As you can see, it is provided with the hexadecimal value. As you can see here, it is provided with the value 13,000,083. This is what the value provided for this layout. Okay, if that is the case, it is going to take the value from this particular R is a resource file. I think let me try to open this resource. It is not displayed with for the users, okay, for the developers, because this is auto-generated Java file. This r.java is an auto-generated Java file. It is not provided for any manipulation things provided for the user. It is auto-generated, so we are not going to text that content. So just keep this in mind. R is a resource file, resource.java file, where it is going to have all the components what we are having in the Android development. That is, whatever the components we generate in the XML, that is the graphical user interface, that component is going to be converted as a hexadecimal component value. Okay, that is going to be stored inside the r.java. So for better understanding of the same, I will explain you how this is going to be linked. Okay, now you can see, just keep this in mind, r.layout.activity underscore main is where we are going to render our view. This view is nothing but this view. Okay, this view. So these are the components, and this is what the layout. This is what the layout, and this is what the XML file. That is activity underscore main. That is where we are going to render out the view. Now you can see the r.layout is, we are just connected our XML to our Java file. Now it is clear that how to connect the components. Okay, as I told, an activity will be having two components. One is a Java file and an XML file. When we come to the XML file, when we come to the Java file, that Java file inside that need to have the XML file as a component inside it. Okay, so we are just connecting the Java code. We're just connecting the Java code with the XML in this manner. Set content view r dot layout dot activity underscore main. So this is how the activity is being connected to the Java code. So when we run this application, the view of this is going to be opening the XML file for the user. Okay, now inside this, what are the components we have? So now you can see, we just assigned the layout, but we are not assigned the components what we have. Okay, so for assigning the components, we are going to assign the values. As you can see, button 0, these are the components. For example, as I told you, int a, but the value for a is been rendered here. Okay, so that rendering part we are doing in this section. Okay, so we already assigned the, wait a minute, I will just show you. We already assigned, we just called declared the things, but we are not assigned the value for anything. But we are just declared the button 0. But for we are assigning the value for this button in this way. Okay, so button 0 equals button find view by ID r dot ID dot b0. So when we observe the code, just have a look. We are just looking for the button 0. Okay, the button with 0 value. Okay, so I'm just opening you just see this b0 is the ID. Okay, b0 is the ID. Okay, when we open the activity, when I click on the whatever the 0 button, in the attributes part, if you click on the attributes, you can see the value of the ID of this particular button 0. But as you can see here, the ID of this button is B0. We are in the code, we are just calling that find view by ID, r dot ID dot B0. So B0 is something but the identity that we provided for the button 0. Something similar to this, all the buttons what we have here, along with the text view, as you can see that this is what the ID is provided as display. Can you see this? The ID is provided as display. When we come to the Java code, you can see the display ID. The display ID is provided for the text view. Edit text. Edit text, not the edit text. Yes, edit text as display. Edit text 1, that is nothing but the text view. As you can see, this is a text view. Find view by ID. Display is the identity that is provided for the text view. I think you got the point. Okay, for each and every component what we use, we are going to assign. This is what how we are going to assign. Just a moment. Yeah, it's a disturbance there. Hold on. Now you can see one by one all the components. This is how the fashion of entering this is how we are going to enter the assign the values for the components that we assign. See, this is what the value that we assign. This belongs to type button. Okay, I'll be telling you, this belongs to type button. Okay, next comes, because after entering this equal to, inside the bracket we need to enter the value as button, because this belongs to type button, and we are assigning this by providing the identity of this particular component. So how we are going to assign? Find view by ID. Find view by ID. Just to think in, just concentrate on this. We need to provide the the find view by ID in this way only, because it is case sensitive. It is case sensitive. Find need to be in smaller case. F need to be in smaller case. V need to be in uppercase, and R by B need to be in uppercase, and I need to be in uppercase for this find view by ID keyword. Okay, this is a keyword. Okay, so if this is the case, we are going to assign the value with something like find view by ID. The identity of this component is linked with, how it is linked, r.id.b0. So this is the way. When we come to the edit text option, edit text or text view option, text view edit text 1 is the component name. The component name, as you can see here, text view edit text 1. Okay, for example, instead of edit text 1, I can rename this to anything, edit text 1, or my name itself. I'll just add for giving an example for you. Okay, so after entering this, you can see this many errors are there. So I need to replace all these components with the name text view as Karthik. So I think it is clear for you. Text view is the type and Karthik is the value for that type. Okay, so let me come back to the this thing, edit text 1. So as you can see, the edit text 1, when we see this edit text 1 is the type of value that are assigned here. So inside this, we are going to have the provided type of the component that we use, and find view by ID r.display. So display is the identity for this text view. So I think it is clear for you. Is it clear? Any questions or any queries, please ask. Any questions? Any questions? No questions. You just type something in the chat box. No questions. Shall we proceed for the further? Please tell me that at least. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಾನೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ. Please mention in the chat box. Can we proceed? Any clarifications or doubts?
No doubt, sir. You can proceed.
So students ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೀರಾ? At least ಒಂದು chat box ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? Yes, okay, fine. Right. Thank you. Now, after doing this, let us come to the next part. Next part of this, because I'm not going to explain the entire code of functional part of this code. Just this is how we are going to something like a logic that we have provided. If it is button, for each and every button, what are the things need to be done? What are the functionalities that need to be followed? So I'll just provide you this code. Okay, I'll just provide you this particular source code for you. Okay, I'll just share the source code, the Google link. Okay, I'll just share you the Google link here in this chat box. Okay, in the end of this session, I'll provide you this session. Okay, in the end of this session, I will provide you. I think it is clear for you people. Now, let us run this application. Let us see how to run this application and to generate an APK file. Because as I told, the final outcome need to be the end product of this application. End product of the developing this application is to get an APK file. That is the Android package. So we are going to look at how we are going to get the APK file from this. Okay. So this is how we are going to get the APK. For this, we are going to first we need to build the application. So for building this application, let us run the Gradle. Okay. So if we run the Gradle part, that Gradle should not be having any error. This, as I mentioned you in the previous classes also, just keep turned on your internet, then only it is possible for us to run the application. Okay. Or else if the internet is not turned on, the application will not be fetching any repository details or any packages from the repositories. Okay, so it is better to turn on your internet and then start compiling the applications or run when you open your Android Studio. Always keep your internet on. That's what I recommend. Okay, next to this, as you can see, the build successful in 10 seconds. Now we are going to run. How we are going to run this application? I just click on the build option. Now if I click on the build option, you can see there is an option called build bundle or APKs. You can see this option. Okay. Now, after when we click on this, I will repeat it once again. Just click on the build option. Okay. When you click on the build option, you can see there is an option called build bundles or APKs. Okay. When we click on this, you can see there is an option called build APKs. Okay. If we click on build APKs, automatically the building of this as I told, it is going to synchronize all the components in our application, such as our Java code, as well as XML, as well as the Gradles. So all these things are synchronized together, and it will provide an output as an APK file. So now, wait a minute. Now you can see the building of this is in progress. So once this is done, wait a minute. It is still running. Okay. Still it is running. It may take some time. Usually the Gradle scripts will take some time for synchronization, because some of the things may be taken from the repositories and something are taken from the local system. So it will take some time to fetch all these things. It totally depends on your system speed. Now I'm just demonstrating this in my laptop. The same thing, not the same application. I'm going to display you some other application in my desktop now itself. Okay. The WebView application, I'll just demonstrate that application to you. When we do that, you can see the difference in speed. Okay, it totally depends on the system configuration, hardware configuration of your system. Now it is still running. So once this is done, it will fetch us an EPK file, that is Android package file. Yes, I think it will give now. Run tasks now. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it is still running.
Karthik sir, build is successful.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the interruption. Yes, sir. Now you can see the build is successfully done, and you can see. Wait a minute. Now you can see there is it got vanished. Let me build it once again, sir. Let me build it once again. It got vanished. It will show the option there itself. It will not take that much of time when we run for the second time. Okay. So you can see it is executing. It is executing and it will not take that much time to load for the second time. Now you can see it got generated, and here you can see there is option to locate the APK file. Okay, when we click on this, it will open the APK file. Now you can see it got an APK file. We got an APK file here. Okay, when we copy this and run it, it will just display the things in the content. Okay.
Do we need to build this particular?
Sudeep sir, just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Someone has arrived to my house. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Sure,
I'll
sir.
be back in 1 minute, sir. I will be just back.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Sorry everyone. Today we are having a lot of disturbance. That's the reason. Sorry for that, because it's a work from home situation, right? So many of the things are a lot of disturbance for today. So no problem. I'm just came now. Now, as you can see here, this is what the APK file. Sudeep sir, you're just asking some question.
Sir, my question was, do we have to build this for generating APK twice?
No, only once is required, because I just lost the path. Okay. I just want to show you. Here itself will be provided with the path to locate that APK generated. For that reason, I just built it twice.
Okay, sir.
So we had a pop-up right there, right? In the option itself, we had an option to locate the APK that I missed here. To show you here itself, because I just had the screen share option there. That's the reason I lost the path. So that's the reason I run the application. Now what I will do is I will try to give this application for you people to on your what do you say, how to run this. Just copy this and I will provide it to you in the Google link. Okay, Google Drive link. Let me check. I think it is not possible to share any file in the meeting. Is there any option to share files, sir, here in this?
Nagendra, sir?
No.
The chat option, it's not possible, I guess.
Yes, it is not possible to share the APK, but I can give you this APK file to your WhatsApp. Sir Sudeep, sir, I can share this content to you, your WhatsApp.
Sure, sir. You can share it to me. I'll put it across to students group.
Yes, sir. I'll just share it now itself. Anyone can, as I told you, this APK.
Sir, I do have one more question.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is there any other alternative way in which we can see the output, like using an emulator kind of things?
Yes, we can do that. But here, my system right now, what I'm using, this system will not support the emulator because these are AMD operated systems, AMD whatever AMD version of operating systems. So these versions will not be provided to have this. Okay. So I'll just share this file to you, sir.
Okay, sir.
You can share this file, but I'll tell you, but this is not the recommended way to get an application. Usually what we used to do is we used to put this in the what do you say Play Store, or else inside, and what do you say, something like the link. It is not recommended to share the things in WhatsApp. Sudeep sir, I have just shared this, and along with this I'll just share the link of the code. Wait a minute, sir. So I'll just share this code to you, sir. Wait a minute, sir. So I think, Sudeep sir, is it possible to get the code? Sorry, get the APK file?
Sir, yes, sir. I was able to get the APK file and I shared it to the class groups.
Yes, sir. You just click to open that file, sir.
Yeah, it is asking me to install it.
Yeah, please check whether it is possible to install on your phone, sir. And the application is working.
I'll check it, sir, for just a minute.
Yes, sir. I'll be waiting. So in this session, I just explained you how to run this application and how to get an APK file and how this APK file is going to be installed. So I just shared that APK file in WhatsApp, or else if you're having a data cable, you can just copy that APK file. If not, if you are not able to run this, get this APK file, we can directly run this on your phone, mobile phones itself. To run this mobile phone on your mobile phones, you need to be enabled with. Wait a minute. Yeah, this is what it is. Okay, just a minute. I'll just connect my data cable. Okay, and now you can see once I connect my data cable, what the option you are going to get here. Just a minute. So for enabling this, you need to enable the developer options on your mobile, and the USB debugging need to be enabled. So I'll just show you. Now I just turned on the debugging option in my mobile phone. Now you can see right now the physical device is available. Right now the physical device is available. That is Redmi Note 8 Pro. Is right now connected to my system. Now I can directly run this on my mobile phone. As you can see, if I click on this run option, it will automatically run this application to my mobile phone. Okay, just started running this application.
Karthik sir, I installed the APK file and it was able to give me the application. I could able to see the application running of the calculator.
Running, is it working, sir?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, it's working fine.
Fine, sir. Okay. This is how. Now I'm just explaining you how to connect your mobile phones and run it on your physical mobile device. Okay, directly from the Android Studio to your mobile device. Just enable. I'm not able to share my mobile screen now. I just connected it to my mobile phone. My mobile phone is right now connected to the system, and as you can see here, it is enabled with the device name. So if it is the case, we can directly run the application on my mobile. So for the first time, it will take some time, and for the next time, it will not be that much complicated, because for the first time, it is running in this. Okay, so it is taking some time, few seconds. Yes, it will be completing. Another. Any other questions? Any other clarifications you can ask?
Sir, suppose if let's say that you have sent an APK file and we have installed it. Suppose the people who
Yes.
want to deploy this application on their mobile phone, they can make use of this APK and they can install it on their
Yes.
machine. Suppose say if they don't
exactly,
want to run it in the the mobile phone and they want to use it in like emulators or simulators, how can we do that? Is there
Yes,
any
sir. For
alternative
that,
way
what
to
we need to do is, yes, there is an alternative, sir. Yeah, as you can see here, if we go to the option, the next to the Gradle symbol, okay, there is an option called Android AVD. That is Android Virtual Device. When we click on this, you need to create a virtual device, something like an emulator, that is going to create a virtual device, that Android virtual device on your system. But this system will not support the emulators, so that's the reason I'm not using it here. You can try it, because these are AMD structured operating systems. Sorry, AMD structured hardware. This will not be supported. The emulators are not supported in this hardware. Okay.
Okay.
So,
So
as you can see,
so we can use
so
it for
I,
Windows based
Intel.
Intel.
No,
Yeah.
no, Intel based structure architecture is there, no, sir. For that
Yes, sir.
systems, it will work.
Okay, sir.
So if that is the case, if I want to add the AMD based operating system or AMD based device, so I need to import some hardware profiles. So that is available online. that we need to download. Okay, once this is done, we can choose which type of device we need to have. Okay, and we can need to click on next. It will ask for which version of API you need to have for your. So if it is not, we need to download it. Okay, so it will start asking the download. Once it is downloaded, it will ask for the finish. Once we click on finish, it will run the things in emulator, not in a separate physical device or as a APK. It will directly run the things in the system itself. So again, one more thing I need to tell you is this will grab a lot majority of the memory of your RAM and the processor. So this requires lot of memory because we are just going to run and different operating system device on our system. So for doing this, your hardware need to be very well architectured system. Okay, so then only it is possible for us to run this type of applications in the emulator. So if you try again, it is going to give something like it is going to be more time consuming for you to complete this process. So I think I think you people understood the problem, what exactly it is. Okay, now this is how we are going to look at the things. Okay, now let's proceed. I just cancel this. This is how you are going to create a virtual device. I think Sudeep sir, your doubt is cleared, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now let's let me share. Let me try to give you the link of the same application. You people also try to run this application on your devices. Just a moment. I share you the Google Drive link. Just a moment. Yes, I think we are having the link. I'll just share this link to you, sir. In the chat box, I will just share this link.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
So one more thing. Yesterday, Sudeep sir was asking one question. If we are having one, responsive website, okay, how we are going to build an Android application using WebView. So this is what the next component that we are going to look at. I just shared the Google Drive link. Please use this link to download the entire application, whatever the application we had right now. You try to run this on your systems. Whatever the application right now, it is here, no? The calculator application, that is the My Calculator. The entire code is right now. I shared the Google link for you. You can use this thing to get the particular file, entire file system. Okay. So as I was telling you people, we are going to look at one of the examples of how we are going to utilize the WebView. So for this, I'm going to migrate to another system. Just hold on. Just I'm stop my presentation, and I will start the presentation from my other system. I think, is the screen visible? Is the screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as you can see, I'm just logged in from other system. I'll just try to run the application. So this is what the application that we are looking for the WebView. So with respect to the WebView, as you can see, this is what the content for the WebView. So let's have a look at the RES folder. res folder of the same. Now let's go to the layout part. So inside this layout, there is one activity called as activity underscore main.xml. When we have a look at this, just a minute. Now you can see the entire content is filled with the web view. Now this web view, as I told, just a moment. As I told you people, this is a widget. This is a widget that web view, just we dragged and dropped the components here. Okay, just we dragged and dropped the component of web view. Now after dragging and dropping the component, let's have a look at the code of this application. So if you look at the code of this application, as you can see, this is having one splash screen, and an main activity file. So this is where we are going to run the Java code. Now you can see there is an option to enter the URL. Sudeep sir, now you can see this. There is an option to enter the URL. Now this particular content, that is what the Android application is right now having the option to display the website in this particular link. Now if I try to open this link, I'll just open this link to you. Wait a minute. I try to open this link. Now I just opened this link. This is right now you can see my office website. This is a responsive website. How to check the responsiveness of this website? Let me show you. This is how the responsiveness of this website can be seen. Now you can see it is compatible with the mobile devices also. Okay. Now let us check the same with our whatever the contents we wrote. So in this we can see we are having one more component called splash screen. So it is going to display this particular screen for a time period. Okay, for few seconds it is going to display. And one more question was asked by one of you people, how to change the activity. For example, right now we are in an activity. When you click on a button, it is going to transit you from that particular activities to some other activity. Okay, so this is what the question it was asked in the previous session. Okay, so I told you that when I teach you some of the features, I'll explain to you this feature I told you. So as I told you, I'm just explaining this component. As you can see here, the transition used to happen in this way. Okay, you can see this line. Okay, now the intent is something like an import. Now you can see there is an import called intent. Can you see this intent? So it is an import for just a transition from one phase to another phase. Now when you see this intent is a component. Inside this we are calling one more import. Intent is a type. Inside this we are calling the variable, whatever the variable called as intent, which is equal to a new intent, which belongs to type new intent. Okay, new intent where it is going to get transited from the present state to another class. Present this means, as you can see, the package context, the present context to another activity, that is the main activity class. Now what we are just having a look at this splash screen activity. Now what it is going to have, after few seconds, it is going to migrate from this particular session, from this particular screen, to which screen it is going to get migrated? It is going to get migrated to main activity screen. So the transition is going to happen from the first screen to this particular screen. Now let me try to share my screen. Hold on a minute. Now you can see the transition. Sudeep sir, I think this question I'm answering now. Okay, I think this you got the answer for this. Now
Yes,
the
sir.
transition from one thing to another thing is going to happen in this. So
Yes.
the intent is the main keyword. Okay, sir. Intent is the main keyword, and it is something like inbuilt component of Android, where we are going to use this intent to make the transition from one particular activity to another activity. So if you are having another activity, you can directly use. For example, if I am having another activity, main activity 2.java, so I can directly use main activity 2.java, so that whatever the components what we have, that will be transited from the present state to main activity 2.java. So this is how it is going to happen. So when we run this application, what we are going to have, it is just going to make, first it is going to display the splash screen. After that, it is going to show the whatever the website we have. Well, I just showed you the website, right? It is going to display that. So let me show this. Let me show. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Hold on. So any other queries or questions you can ask. Okay. For sharing my screen, my network need to be in Wi-Fi. That's the reason it was in what do you say, the RJ45 socket. I just changed it. Just a minute. I'll just share my screen now. I just try to share my screen now.
Participants, if you have any questions, you can ask Karthik sir.
Any questions you can ask. Now you can see the screen, right? You can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I open this application, as you can see, it just displayed the contents. Now, for better view, let me run this application using. Let me change the settings of my screen to lighter mode, so it will be easy for you to view. Now you can see the same thing. Whatever the contents we had, it is just displaying as an application in my phone. This is a mobile phone, as you can see. This is what. So I think you got the option of what exactly the web view is.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to provide you the web view also, the code for web view. What exactly you need to do here is, once the application is loaded, your job is to only change this URL. That is what, inside this main activity, there is one option to change the URL. As you can see, this is where you need to load the URL.
Sir, kindly request you to share the code to WhatsApp so that I can forward the same to the.
Sure, I'll just load this code to Google Drive.
Okay, sir.
And I'll share that link to you.
Sure, sir.
So this is how it is. It will look like. Okay. So this is what the thing we are going to look for the Android application. Now, I think this questions, you may ask one question. So what exactly the difference between the native Android application and this type of web view application? So the native Android applications, it is totally built. on Android devices itself. Okay, and for the platform dedicatedly for Android itself. But this type of things, whatever the responsive websites we have, if we are using a web view, these are not dedicated or a native Android applications. These are just a replication of whatever the components we have into Android. That's all. But it is not a native or dedicated Android application. Some of the features may work, some of the features may not work. So for that, enabling that feature, we need to incorporate some or the other plugins or components to this code, so that that will also be working. Okay. So in future, if it is required, in future I will explain you how to do this in upcoming session, not in this present workshop. Okay. So any other questions or any other queries related to this workshop from starting to till now, you can ask.
I request the participants to feel free, ask any kind of doubts that you have in your mind.
Anything related to this development or workshop, what we had from day one to till now, you can ask.
Feel free to talk to Karthik sir and you can get your doubts clarified. It may be a simple question or it may be a complex question. Sir is there to help you out. So please feel free to talk to him.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
without using splash activity, why can't we run the code?
We can run the code, but for demonstrating you, because there was a question in the previous session, we how to transit from one particular activity to another activity, to demonstrate that this intent activity has been added in this component. Okay, to demonstrate that, we can directly, instead of, we can just remove this. And one more thing I just got remembered. As you can see, the activity, now you can see, I was explaining the activity to you people, right? So now you can see this, the ordering of activity, something in the manifest, in the Android manifest, you can see which screen should come first. The splash screen should come first, and next the main activity. This ordering of this activity is also there in the provided. To show this example, I just developed this application to demonstrate. Okay, so I'll just share this code to you people. If you want, you can utilize this code. We will just remove this, delete this code. Okay, delete this particular file from splash screen, and just remove this content. Your splash screen will be removed, and you can directly run. When you open this application, it will directly open the web view, not the splash screen. Okay. Is your doubt cleared, Hemant?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts? So I'll just share this code to you people. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, any other queries or questions you can ask? I'm just closing the workshop for now. Okay, any other questions or any other queries or any other relevant things, you can ask. And one more thing, we are providing internship for students of 6th semester. Who are interested can come and join us. Okay, the sessions will be right now. It will be online. Okay, no sessions will be conducted offline until this pandemic gets over. So if you are interested, can come and join.
See, sir is an expertise in blockchain, ethical hacking, cyber security, and even Android application. And there are a lot of technologies he is well versed with. So students, probably he is also one of the inspiration for me to write certain contents. So probably I would thank Karthik sir for this particular approach for motivating me. And the students also, I request you to please be in touch with Karthik sir so that whatever the technologies that he is well versed with, he is always there to share his valuable knowledge to all of you. And moreover, his contribution to NIE and NIE IT basically is from NIE. And in spite of being an alumni of NIE, he is always there to support NIE IT. So that's the good positive sign that we are having. So please make the best use of the resource which is available. So if anybody is interested, you can contact Karthik sir. Karthik sir will provide his details, so you can join and learn certain new technologies.
Okay, I'll just share the link. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Sudeep, sir, for keeping that much of trust on me. It is really happy to hear that. Yes, I just pasted both the things. So first one is the link for the calculator application, and next one is with respect to the web view. Okay, so that is what you need to just change the responsive web view. Okay, whatever the responsive website you are having, just change the URL in the main Java file. Will be whatever the contents that will be replaced. So this is what, and I need to thank you a lot for you people for providing me an opportunity to share my whatever the knowledge I have with respect to Android. Because usually the Android is a very common thing for me, because what each and every day or everything we will be regularly updated with respect to the technology with respect to Android. Because as I told you in my with respect to my introduction, sir has given you, I'm one of the associate Android developer for Google Corporation. Okay, so I'm a certified person for Google Corporation with respect to Android development. So that's the reason I'm telling you, if we are having any questions or queries related to development, you can ask me anytime. And we are providing the internship option for you also. If anyone interested can communicate. I'm also providing my number here. Okay, I'm just sharing my number. Anyone interested can communicate and share your resumes here. Okay.
So sir has shared his number, and
I'm just sharing my email.
So you can send your, if anybody is interested, you can directly contact Sir Karthik sir, or else if you need any kind of help regarding with respect to the internship, you can even talk to the staff members, even me or Prasanna sir or Srinidhi sir or Chandru sir. Okay, you can talk to any of four of us, and we'll be there to communicate with Karthik sir. Okay, so
Okay. Thank you very much, Sudeep sir. Thank you, one and all, for providing me an opportunity once again, and for your supported patience for listening to this session. I hope that I tried my level best to cover up the majority of this session, because the Android, it's not something like the platform to teach in online platform. It is not something like to teach it in an online platform. It is better to provide the things in the, what do you say, face-to-face activities need to be provided for you people. But I tried my level best to provide best from my end. I hope that you understood the concepts of Android. Thank you very much for all the staff members HOD, sir, principal, sir, and the staff members of ISA department for providing me an opportunity to share my views with respect to Android. All the best for you people, for your academics as well as your future endeavors. Thank you very much. Please, sir, please continue.
Yeah, thank you, Karthik sir. On behalf of NIIT family, I think we have come to the end of this particular session, I guess. So, with this note, I would like to, on behalf of my team as well as the NIIT family, I would like to thank you for your valuable time and sharing your valuable thoughts with all our students, so that it can benefit our students to gain a lot of knowledge. So thank you,
Yes, sir.
sir, for
Last but not the least, need to ask you people about the feedback. What exactly the feedback you people got, or what exactly you are willing to give for this particular session? Let me have the things, because usually you people are provided with feedback forms. Let me ask from my end, if you are having faced any issues or anything, any problems with respect to this session, you can post it so that it will be easy for me to rectify for the next upcoming sessions that I'm providing for you people or some other student sector. Okay. So if you faced any issues or any problems or anything that need to be rectified in this session, you can directly put your feedback in the chat box. Or if you are satisfied with whatever the teachings I have provided, that you are totally satisfied with the teachings that I have provided, you can post that one also in the chat box. I request all the students to put some or the other things in the chat box.
students. Please give your feedbacks to sir regarding the session. And also, if any student is interested in taking up the internship program, so sir is there to help you out with the internship, and even he has done a lot of work in blockchain, ethical hacking, web development, Android development, and so many other credits on his head. So he has got a lot of projects. He has also handled a lot of US based projects, and the most important thing is he is very friendly and very reachable person that you cannot find with any other person. So I'm sure that all of you make the best use of Karthik sir and learn new technologies. So Karthik sir, thank you very much for your wonderful session that you had portrayed to our students. I'm sure that there are a lot of takeaways which are done by students. So with that note, if any particular suggestions or feedbacks is there, we'll post it to you after I think the feedback link is being
But
posted.
I'm expecting, yes sir, I agree, but I expecting the students to at least interact this with respect to this in the chat box, so that we'll be get to know some of the, if they feel, if there's a good, they can post it as a good workshop or something like that. If they're not, if you have felt something bad or something not satisfactory, they can post that one also in the chat box.
Okay,
that's what I'm asking.
Yes, sir. I think I request any one or two students, or maybe a few students, can unmute themselves and say about the workshop and share their thoughts on how was the experience regarding the workshop session.
Okay, finally I got one. Afiza, thank you. Adarsh, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, I think anyone please unmute and tell what exactly you got from this. Hemant, you can please talk.
Hemant, you can unmute yourself and you can speak.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for providing the opportunity to know about the Android Studio.
Okay, thank you, Hemant. Okay, fine, sir. And one more thing, Sudeep sir. I had one person from you from the same batch itself. was supposed to explain some of the application that he was developed.
Yeah, I think it's Hemant. Hemant, I guess.
Suman, sir.
Sumant. Okay, fine. Okay.
If that is the case, he can share his screen and they can demonstrate what exactly it is. I think he has left the meeting. Fine, sir. Okay, let's conclude the meet.
Okay, sir. So we'll conclude the session, students. So thank you, Karthik sir, for your valuable sessions. And I'm sure that there is a lot of takeaway from to the students. I think they will get back to you after a little bit of workout. So I think Sumant has joined. Probably Sumant, you can unmute yourself and share your thoughts about the workshop.
Yeah, sir. I would like to thank you, Karthik sir, for this wonderful workshop. Actually, we learned something useful. We learned so much things here, like how to use some particular components in Android Studio and something related to that APK and all.
Fine. Thank
Sumant,
you. Thank you, Sumant.
Thank you very much, Sumant. I hope you had tried a little bit of applications. That's what we heard about it. Is it possible that can you share that here on the screen?
Sir, now I have network issues. I think day after tomorrow I can explain. Like I can't share right now.
No problem, sir. No issues, Sumant. That's what I think. You people are having internship day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. So not these internals, right? Internals day after tomorrow. So I
Yeah.
don't want to take much of your time. So I just concluded today's session. Okay. I hope that that with respect to Android development, anything related to that, you can communicate to the concerned faculties. I request faculties, if you are having any issues or any problems related to Android development, they can communicate to me.
Sure, sir.
So it will be easy for me to share my knowledge, whatever relevant issues you are having with respect to Android.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, one and all. I'm just ending up the session.
Thank you, Karthik sir. You explained very well.
Thank you.
You explained from the basics, and I hope our students are not having any doubts. And I have told my students to develop 2 small applications as assignment, and they will be doing that one by next week.
Sure, sir.
I think, sir, they are not having any doubt. If they are having any doubt, we will contact you later, sir.
Sure, sir. Please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. It was wonderful session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. I'll just wind up. Shall we wind up now?
Yes, sir. We can wind up the session. I think shall we have a group photo once, sir?
Sure, sir.
So I request all the participants to enable your camera.
Karthik sir, please
Yes,
stop
I'm
sharing.
just turning on. I'm turning on, sir.
Presentation. Sir, Karthik sir, please stop the presentation, sir.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute, sir. I just stopped the presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik sir.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, sir. Sudeep, sir. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ಮುಗಿಲಿ. I'll just give a call to you.
Sure, sir.
Sir, ನಾಗೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸಾಕು ಮುಗೀತಲ್ಲ.
Okay, sir. Okay.